And we're live, everyone. Hello.
Oh, we're live right now.
We're live right now.
Okay.
How are we doing? It's Wednesday, I think.
Is it? Yes, it is.
It is. That means I need to do the Patreon thing. I'll do that after we're done. Hope everyone's
drawing war crimes.
Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. Is that the Dragon Ball Z?
It's big tittied Cell.
Big tittied Cell. Yeah, we're back. We missed Friday.
Yeah, Bryce, why did we miss Friday?
Let me tell the whole story. So, Diggy drinking my coffee. Sorry. So Friday, we weren't gonna stream anyway because it was a Friday. It was Friday vibes. But then Scott and I, every Friday, we have a tradition that I think most people that watch the stream regularly will know about, where we go rock climbing on Friday mornings. And it's always a grand old time. It's always very fun. Well, a few weeks ago, to give some backstory, I think I talked about a time that I jumped off the top of a wall because I knew I was going to fall. And I landed and I hurt my feet. And I was like, ow, my feet hurt. But then they were fine. My feet were fine. This time, we get there, it's early. We always get there a little bit early. We come in. For some reason, there are just a lot of children there this morning, which is very strange because the place is only open to like members the time we go. So only open to people that like pay a monthly subscription fee. But there were like legitimately, and I'm not exaggerating, like 15 kids there. Just running around, climbing, being loud, having a good time. I guess it was some kind of, I don't know. It's weird because there wasn't like a school bus or anything. Like, I don't know how these kids got here. I don't know why they were there. It wasn't like a field trip thing. But they, we get in, we're the first two like actual non-children there. And we get our gear and we're climbing, we're having a good time. Things are going well. None of the kids or anything is over on the side we're at. So like, they're chill, they're just hanging out. And Scott and I, we were looking for new routes to climb because we had climbed most of the ones at our current skill level. And there was one about 2 higher than our current skill level that I was like, that doesn't look too bad. And Scott was like, well, climb it, pussy. And I was like, okay. And so I started to climb this one. And it had like no good grips. Anyone that rock climbs would know what I mean by that. Like it had like things like it had like big rocks, but they weren't easy to grip onto at all. And so I climbed maybe a foot or two off the ground. I was not very high up at all. And there was one that was maybe another like foot or two above me that I needed to grab, and the only way I could kind of get to it was by kind of hoofing myself up to grab, like kind of not jumping, but like pulling myself up. or pushing myself up a little bit to grab it. Well, I did that, and I because it didn't have a good hold, I grabbed hold of it for about half a second before I lost my grip. When I fell off of this, I landed on one of my feet. The other foot I landed on, I did not see this. This is just my interpretation. Scott witnessed this. I landed on the exact side of my foot. So I essentially, on my left foot, I essentially just stepped down onto my ankle. It made a very nasty noise. And then I fell, and I was in a lot of pain. About 10 minutes, I was sitting there in the rock climbing gym in a lot of pain. My foot was very swollen, which was not good. No buys. And Scott was like, okay, well, you just sit here and at first I like fell over onto the mat, and I was like, fuck. I was in a lot of pain, and he was like, walk it off. And I stood up, and I was like, yeah, I'll walk it off. And I took a step and I fell, and I was like, okay, I can't do that. So then he handed me my water, and he was like, drink water. And I was like, okay. And so then he just leaves me, and he like goes and rock climbs a bit while I try to recover. I realized within about 5 minutes I'm not going to recover. This is not going to be a ooh, ow, owie, I fell, I'm in pain kind of thing, kind of recover. I was able to walk out of the rock climbing gym, not very fast and not very well, but I was able to walk out on my own 2 feet, which in hindsight might have not been a good thing, but I was able to do it. My foot got very, very swollen, and so I kind of just for like 2 days couldn't walk, and I was like, wow, that really sucks. Can't walk. But I didn't go to the doctor because I didn't want to go to the doctor and have them tell me that I just hurt my foot and I just need to stay off it, and then like charge me like a bunch of money. So I didn't do that. And then on Monday I still couldn't walk, and I was in worse pain. So I went to the doctors finally. I went to the doctors, and I get there, and this doctor's office is really I went to like an urgent care. It's really strange. Have you ever been in that urgent care near us, Scott?
That one? No.
It has a strange like decor. I don't know how to describe it. It has like you know, like the standard like old rugs that you like picture. That's like what the curtains were like. It was like that kind of like texture, and all the doors were like old unfinished wood. Like it must have been an old building. It had a strange vibe, but it was a nice place, but it had a strange vibe. So I get there, and they tell me they can x-ray my foot and do all this, and first things first, I get in there and I sit down. I'm on crutches because I can't walk. I sit down, and this woman comes in, and she goes, "What happened to you?" And I went, "Well, I injured myself rock climbing." And she goes, "Oh, well, at least you did it while you have cool hair." And I was like, okay. That was not the doctor. That was just a woman that was sitting next to me while I was in the waiting room. And then I get in, I get into the actual doctor's office, and the woman comes in. She's like, "What'd you do?" And I'm like, I hurt my foot rock climbing. And she's like, "Oh, that really sucked." And she paused, and she goes, "At least you did it while having cool hair." And I was like, what the fuck? It was a different woman. I was very confused. And so then like they do all the standard shit, and then the actual doctor comes in, and she again, I'm not joking, also had a sprained ankle. And she goes, "Ooh, that looks bad." And I go, "Yeah." And then she looks down at hers. She goes, "A lot worse than mine." And I go, "Okay." And then she looks at it, and she goes, she like touches all over, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this you hurt yourself." And I go, "Yeah, I know I did." So I go and get x-rays. And while I'm getting x-rays, she goes, "You know, I'm not a radiologist, but I think you're good. I think you only sprained yourself. I think you're good." And then I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's good. That's good news." And then I go and I get back to the room, and she's like, "It'll take like 20 minutes to hear the results." And I'm like, "Cool." And I sit there, and the first woman comes back in, the one that complimented my hair, and she goes, "Ooh, you done did it." And I go, "What?" And she goes, "Ooh, ooh." And then she just like leaves. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then the doctor comes back in, and she goes, "Okay, so you've sprained 2 ligaments. So I've sprained 2 ligaments, and then I have an avulsion fracture on the side. I think that one's on the side. One of them is on the side of my foot, like on like the outside of my foot, like under my pinky toe. and the other one is on the inside of my foot, right on my ankle bone. One of them, one's an avulsion, one's an oblique. I don't remember the difference. I just know the one on the side of my foot, it happened because apparently.
Well, oblique would be the one on the side.
Okay, apparently it this is gonna be a little gross, but when I landed, my ligament stretched and it ripped off a piece of my bone. So that's what that one is. The other one, the one on my actual ankle, is just a crack. Like I just have a crack in my bone. So she told me I don't need surgery. I don't need anything like that. She said it'll heal over time. I can't walk at all. I'm not allowed to walk. I have to wear a boot. And I have to just stay off of it, put no pressure on it whatsoever until it heals. And then I have to do physical therapy, she said. Or said I should do physical therapy. Once it starts getting better, and I have to go see another thing. So that's the story of how I ruined my foot. And why I can't walk. Why I have my trusty crutches next to me.
I'm illustrating how you fell. So one foot was normal, right? Like this, like landing flat on the foot. For some reason, your other, it was just like this.
Yeah,
I honestly, I don't know how you even got to that position.
And the weirdest part about it was, like I said, I fell from such a short distance. Like it wasn't even like I fell far. It was just the way.
You probably legitimately only fell 3 feet.
Yeah, I
mean, like you were only on the second or third hold.
Yeah, it was very strange because it was like I took a fall from a lot higher, and it was not anything bad, but just the way I fucking landed.
It happened recently. This happened on Friday.
Yeah, this happened on Friday. My whole foot is purple, which is pretty tight. I didn't actually. When I was after they did all, they told me what I had. They were like, the doctor left, and like the first woman, the one that complimented my hair, she's like, okay, I'll wrap your foot. For some reason, 3 other women came in to help her wrap my foot, and like they had to explain to this doctor how to wrap my foot, which was just a strange thing that happened to me. But the best part was when she pulled off the wrapping I was already wearing, because she hadn't actually seen my foot yet, she pulled off and she went, ooh, ooh. And she was like, that hurts, doesn't it? And I was like, yeah. Yeah, it does. Because she hadn't seen how bruised my foot was. Yeah, because essentially my whole foot is bruised, and it's pretty gnarly looking. It was really swollen right after it happened. It was really, really swollen because I didn't get like compression on it very quick, so it swelled up really, really bad. But you know, I mean, it sucks. I just can't walk very well. I have to walk with crutches. Suck. I've never sprained or broken anything in my life. So I've never dealt with even like anything. So I've never dealt with anything like this. I'm a baby about it. I hate it. This is basically my own personal hell. I can't walk.
I have gotten so many messages about these crutches over the last couple of days.
I hate it. You're the only person that I have to vent to you, because if I vent to Amy, she has to do everything for me right now, so I can't vent to her. I feel bad about it. Also, Amy's getting the worst of it, and I feel really bad for her because, like, I'll be like, oh, fuck, I really want something to eat. And she'll be like, okay, I'll make you something. And I'll be like, no, I'll make it myself. And then I'll, like, try and get up, and I'll be in pain. And she'll have to be like, no, I'll make you something, blah, blah. And so she's dealing with my stubbornness. Like, when I jumped all the way up the stairs the other day, and she was really mad at me about it. Because I didn't want to scoop my butt up the stairs. Your armpits hurt after using crutches for like 50 minutes. That's true. That is the worst part. That and your wrists hurt. They're also just really tiring to use. I mean, like what is normally like an easy. I'll tell you what. When I can walk, I can't wait to run. Before stream, Scott went, look what I could do, and he stood up. And I've never been more envious of a man. I was like, God damn, I wish I could do that. Yeah, so Friday I didn't work at all because I was in too much pain. Saturday and Sunday I mean, I normally take off anyway, but I didn't do anything. I just laid in bed all day in pain. Except we hung out for a little bit. on Saturday. That was like the highlight of my weekend, was hanging out and playing Scrabble, because it was like the only time I wasn't just like in bed staring at the wall. And then Monday I worked, and now I'm back to work. Not well. Like, it's, my work is definitely not at peak performance, but I am back to work.
Basically what he's saying is he's a little baby.
The worst part about having, you know, I will be honest about this. This is the worst part about having something like this, is everyone telling you about their experiences with things similar, either in positive or negative. Like, you cannot talk about an injury without somebody being like, oh yeah, I had this injury, but I just did this, or I had this injury, but just that is the worst thing. Because I don't care.
In fairness, I offered to take him to the hospital directly after it happened. He did not want to go, though. So
no, I didn't. For one, I didn't want to be stuck in like a fucking like an ER waiting room for like the entire day.
That's fair. I would have left you.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. Two, it would have been a lot more expensive than just going to thing. And also three, like, I knew it was bad, and I knew I hurt myself. I knew I'd sprained myself at least, because of how bad it hurt and what it looked like and stuff. But if it were just a sprain or something like that, like, I was pretty sure they were just going to tell me, like, just ice it and rest and keep it elevated and shit like that. And I didn't want to go spend hundreds of dollars to have them tell me that. When it kept hurting, like when I couldn't walk and it kept hurting, that's when I was like, okay, I want to make sure like something's not, because you can actually, if you feel the side of my leg, you can feel where the fracture is. Like, you can feel the piece of bone that got pulled off. It's kind of gross. So I wanted
Amy wanted me to come over yesterday and check on you.
Why?
I don't know.
Amy's
couldn't
here.
Understand why I wouldn't do that.
My Amy's here taking care of me.
I know, but she was like, I had to make him feel better if you went to go check on him. And I'm like, no, it wouldn't.
I was gonna say, I was laying in bed, like barely dressed, hadn't showered. Like, it was not the kind of day I wanted somebody to come over and interact with me.
Now, I tried to explain this, but she was like, no, it's just what you do for your friends. I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, I figure if I was in anything bad enough, like my Amy would tell you or something like that. She's the one that can do all the checking up and caring for me. But yeah, it's not too bad. I'm getting more used to moving around. Once I get a boot, I'll be a lot better. You know, it's just things that normally like you do standing, like pissing and stuff like that, is not easy. And just in general, I last night I couldn't sleep because I was in pain, and so I was like I just wanted to work, because I stayed up and I was reading Vagabond and it made me want to write, and so I worked for like an hour last night, before bed, but it was like 11 and I was like, fuck, I need something to drink and I really want something to eat, and so like I had to make myself a bowl of Cheez-Its and get a glass of tea. This was about a 10-minute process. And you have never seen anything, there's never been anything I've dealt with in my life that is A, made me feel more pathetic, and B, made me feel more like successful and empowering than getting this bowl of Cheez-Its and this glass of tea on one leg. It sucks. Bryson Scott toxic masculinity confirmed. I guess kind of. I would say we probably have some of that rooted in us.
I don't know.
I think it's
I wouldn't
less
want anybody coming to check on me if I had
an
ankle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think in that severe situation, I don't think it's like more like toxic. Like, it's not like I'm like ashamed of it or anything, or like I'm trying to hide how much it hurts. Trust me, I'll tell someone if I'm in pain.
It's true. He keeps wanting to show me. He sent me several pictures of it. I walked over to his house the other day. He was like, "You want to see my foot?" I was like, "No," and he like took the wrapping off and showed it to me.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I don't really care about telling someone I'm in pain. It's more just like I don't really know. I just more just like I just don't. If I want to interact with somebody when I'm not feeling good, I'll tell them. If I want to interact with them, I guess that's more what it is. And I would say like the wanting to do stuff on her own and everything, that's more just stubbornness. I hate people doing things for me. I really hate having to rely on anybody or having to do something like stuff like that. I really like just like doing shit all by myself. So this has been a really frustrating thing for me because for one, I injured myself because of my own stupidity. So it's especially frustrating. And then two, I'm having to like have Amy do everything for me and stuff, which I really appreciate. But it's still like, you know, it sucks not being able to do stuff myself. But I told Scott that I must have pissed off some kind of like elder god because this is about my worst nightmare and everything wrapped up.
The funniest part is that you now have to wait even longer to take your driving test.
That is true. And to rock climb. And you know what I was thinking about? If we go to that thing in August, God, I really hope it's fully healed by then. It should be. I'd have no reason to think it wouldn't be.
There's no way you're still going to be. The only way you would still be in a boot
is if I re-injured myself or something.
Is if you did, if you didn't take it easy and re-injured.
Oh, I've taken it. Trust me, Amy will not let me not take it easy. I did kick her in the face while sleeping the other night. She told me because when I sleep, I move around a lot, which has made this suck for me because I keep waking up in the middle of the night because I'll move and I'll be in like pain or something. But she did tell me the other night, like I was in the middle of sleep and I just kicked her in the face, and she was like, and it woke me up, and I was like, I am so sorry.
Now, unrelated to Bryce's ankle, Kickstarters are exciting.
That is true.
We have a Kickstarter coming out next week. 1 week from now, it goes live. Kindred Heavens, but in addition to that, there's another Kickstarter that's coming out soon-ish. I don't know the exact day. The Loaf is finally coming out. It's a book that I drew for my friend Ryan, and it's about a girl that can bake cat loaves of bread. It's a really funny book. I had a lot of fun working on it. It's been finished for a long time now, but it's just now coming out for one reason or another. So I will send the link to that as well, so you can get updated when that goes live. I think it'll probably be like a month, like 2 weeks, a month, something like that, before that comes out. But Kindred Heavens comes out next week on Wednesday, the 21st. And Bryce and I were going to go rock climbing while it goes live, but we will say when Kindred Heavens comes out, or when the Kickstarter starts, I mean next Wednesday, Scott and I are going to be gone for a large chunk of that day, because we don't think it's good for our mental health to sit there and just check it for like 4 hours straight every 10 seconds. So if we can't get a hold of us and you need to for whatever reason during that time, that's why. Because we're going to leave our phones and go somewhere. Well, I don't know what we're going to do now because I can't walk. Our plans were like hiking or rock climbing or doing something. All of those are very much so out the window. But I'm sure maybe we'll just play Hearts of Iron. Maybe one day Scott will park at that point.
Play Hearts of Iron with me again. Maybe one day. I'm not saying I'm hoping for anything because, you know, why would he play his favorite game of all time with me?
Well, my favorite game of all time now is chess.
Yeah, but I meant favorite video game of all time.
Well, chess.com is...
I'm gonna kick you to death.
No, you're not.
Amy did tell me. Amy said, she was like, no more super kicking each other's hands. I was like, oh man. I will say about this, actually, my doctor, she was real funny. I really liked her. She when I was walking back, she was like, so is this your first ankle injury? And I go, yeah. And she goes, ooh, you're going to get more of them. Because this means your ankle's going to get injured more now. And I was like, cool, thanks. That's great. And then I heard her talking to like a doctor, and they were like, oh, what happened to your ankle? And she's like, oh, I sprained it like a few years ago, and I just like turned to the side and it re-sprained itself, and so here I am. And I was like sitting there, I looked at Amy, and I was like, oh god, no, I don't want this to be my life. It felt like I was like a kid and they were all like making shit up to scare me.
Well, with anything, when you injure it once, it's just going to be injured a lot. Shoulders are like that. If you dislocate a shoulder, it dislocates all the time.
I was really glad that my biggest worry is just that I like tore something. I would have like torn like something in my leg, like my ACL or something. I didn't think I did, but that was just a worry I had. Because my leg it got really swollen and it hurt a lot too, not just my actual ankle. But
when I saw him land like sideways on his leg, I really thought that he had just like torn his ACL or broken something. It was a pretty bad landing.
It made a pretty disgusting noise too.
I didn't hear this noise, but I take his word for it.
It maybe it was like a spiritual noise, you know, like I heard it deep inside. What are you doing?
What
are you doing?
Nothing.
Okay. But yeah, so this is, you know, here we are.
Here we are again.
What I've been doing while I've been injured is I've been reading a lot of manga. And before you say anything, no, Scott, I have not yet, but I will.
Oh yeah, we'll see about that. I get to kick him in the nuts.
That is true. Yeah, Scott and I made a promise to him that if by the end of June I don't read all of the Nausicaa manga, he can kick me in the balls, but he has to remind me within the last week. That was part of our agreement. That's the kicker, because I feel like he has no way of remembering that. But I'll also read it, so it doesn't matter. But I've read like the first 70 chapters of Dan to Dan, because Scrub recommended it to me. It's pretty fun. It's kind of dumb. It's just like dumb fun. The best way I could describe it is just by saying it's really stupid, and sometimes you just need something really stupid. I read all of Ikigami. Ikigami's pretty tight. I wish it would have had more of like a story and not been as episodic, but I'd recommend Ikigami to anybody. And now I'm reading Vagabond, and I'm like 40 chapters in.
I'd recommend Nausicaa.
Have you ever heard of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun? I have. I've just not read it. I know they just came out with a box set that's like a toilet stall, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. But I have not read it. I'm always taking recommendations, so if anybody ever wants to recommend me anything, I like anything.
I recommend Nausicaa.
If anybody wants to recommend me anything that I've read. You know, Scott, I have a question actually for you about manga. You don't own like a ton of manga. You own like compared to me, you own like the Dragon Ball box set and the Naruto box set, right? And then you own like a few random sporadic ones, right?
Right.
I know you just bought one. I forget the name of which one it even was.
I don't even remember.
It was that. But every time I go in, you have one random volume of one specific manga that I've always just been curious about why you have it. Not like that it's like bad or anything. I'm just curious. Why do you have one random volume of Lone Wolf and Cub?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
On your bookshelf right next to you.
I see now. I don't know. I ended up with it somehow. I think I've read the first little bit of it. I told you about it, but you didn't know what it was.
I
got it.
I probably didn't, because I didn't get super into like reading like a lot of manga until recently. Or recently, like being like last 2 years. So I don't know when you got that, but yeah, I probably didn't know about it then. But yeah, because that's a series that's supposed to be really, really good.
Well, I just remember that I got it at some point last year. And I told you about it, and you didn't know what it was, based on my description of the intro.
I've never read it. It's a very famous historical manga. I think it's really old too. I think it was written in like the 70s. I mean, you guys have watched the Lone Wolf and Cub movies, right? No.
Yeah, no.
I've had no interaction with the series whatsoever, except knowing that it's supposed to be good, and knowing that the omnibuses are they're pretty swanky looking. Speaking of omnibuses, sorry, this is gonna be the most excited I get about anything. So for anyone like me that likes to buy a lot of manga that has a problem, Dark Horse sucks. Because they're really weird with their printing and what they reprint and what they don't reprint. But sometimes they do really cool things. And recently they've been doing a lot of really cool things. They've been bringing a lot of things back, and it's really cool. But they've done the Blade of the Immortal Deluxe editions, they've done the Hellsing Deluxe editions, and they've done the Berserk Hellsing, or the Berserk Deluxe edition, which are huge. I have the Hellsing ones behind me. I actually don't know if you can really see them right now. Those big red books. They're very pretty. They just announced they're doing them for Trigun. And I'm very excited. They're doing Trigun and Trigun Maximum. And they're gonna be the big ones. They have like a mock cover. They don't have an actual cover. They're big and yellow, and it's gonna have Vash's gun on the front. Really fucking excited. I think the first one comes out in July. I don't know what I think the first one for the original Trigun series, or not July. I'm sorry, I meant December. I know that's really I meant to say December. The first one comes out in December, and then I think the first one for Maximum comes out like early next year. So that's really fucking cool. That's it. So I'm really excited for that. Because I'd really wanted them to do it. It just made sense for them to do Trigun, but of
course. I've always said that.
Well, because they've been doing like older series. Like they did Hellsing, they did Berserk, and they did Blade of the Immortal. What? No, I agree. Don't fucking make fun of me. I will kill you.
I was agreeing with you.
I'm gonna start buying you manga until you get as into manga as I am.
That will never happen.
I will just start buying you random first volumes of manga. I'm gonna buy you Metamorphosis.
It's not about the quality. It's just that I don't actually like reading them that much.
That is fair.
I never have the time. And when I do have time, I'd rather play chess. My rating's in the 500s now.
See, I just like to think of reading manga as part of my job. That's how I justify it in my head.
Which I know a 500 rating is not impressive.
Listen, that's
garbage.
Actually, that's pretty good for someone that only just started playing chess like recently, though.
It's better than like 400 where I was at a couple weeks ago. As long as I'm improving, I don't care. Because for a while I would only play chess against Ingo, so I would never gain rating because I would always lose. And then I started playing actually online, like rapid games, and I've been winning.
Have you seen the newest Studio Baba Kickstarter? Yo, I have not. But I've heard Kindred Heavens is going to be really tight. I recommend Kindred Heavens to anyone. Thank you for dropping the link too.
Go.
I may or may not be working on finishing up the Kindred Heavens 2 script right now. May or may not. Who knows?
Maybe.
But
also, maybe not.
Well, I mean, I am.
Oh,
like I am.
He is, yeah.
I'm like it. So when you read Kindred Heavens Book 2 eventually, just understand that I wrote it through a period of great suffering. It reflects in the book.
To be fair, most of our good creations are divulged through pain.
That actually is true. I feel like every story we've written that has been successful has been written through a bad part of our life. Also, if you like crime dramas, read Banana Fish. I have heard, Banana Fish is one that I've wanted to read. Cause like I said, I only recently got into, I read a lot of manga growing up, well, like in my teenage years, but it was all like shonen manga. So like I read like all that kind of stuff. As I've gotten older, I've only just recently started like reading like a lot of things. Like all kinds of different things. So there's still a lot of like classic series I've not read.
Like Nausicaa.
Like Nausicaa, yes, that is true. You know, I read this little known series last year called 20th Century Boys that I'd really recommend to people. Yo, Matt, what's up?
Hey, Matt.
The last mangas I read were Jigakuraku. Why does that sound familiar? Is that Hell's Paradise? Is that the Japanese name for Hell's Paradise? I've read the first 3 volumes of Hell's Paradise. I thought it was a really cool idea. And I like this setup, but I didn't ever feel the writing was strong enough to match the setup. But I only read the first 3 volumes, so I wanted to. I'm gonna read the whole thing. It's only like 12 volumes, I think. I'm gonna read the whole thing, but it was one big change I made in my life is I used to just buy a lot of manga. Like I would just buy like the first 3 volumes and read them. Now I'm typically trying to like read them or consume them and then like rent them from the library or read them on like the Shonen Jump app or something like that and then buy them. So like I'm not just blind because I bought some things like I bought Land of the Illustrious, the first like 2 volumes. I fucking hated Land of the Illustrious. I've had a lot of people recommend it to me. Did not like it at all. Did not like the art. Did not like the writing. And so I'm trying to avoid situations like that where I buy stuff that I don't like. What format do you use for drawing? How many pixels by pixels? I think that means.
3000 by 2400. That's 10 by 8, but with 300 DPI.
Maybe watch the anime for Land of the Illustrious. I mean, I just don't like watching anime that much, but there are some things that I'm sure, especially that series, because the crystals and everything, like I'm sure it would be really pretty as an anime. But I really hated. I really did not like the art.
Brutal.
It was one of the few times, typically I can read something even if I'm not a big fan of it. It was one of the few times I read the first volume and I got halfway through the second volume and then I quit. I was like, I can't read anymore of it. Doesn't happen to me very often. It's actually one of the only mangas that I don't have sitting on my shelf because I didn't like it that much. It's in a box in the closet. I've just been waiting for an opportunity to give it to someone. I just keep wanting someone to be like, oh man, I really want Land of the Illustrious. And I'll just be like, here, you can have it.
Who do you know that would say that?
I don't know. Just wait. I'm waiting for somebody. What can I say? I don't think I have anything else on my shelf that I just like hated. Ow, I just hit my throat on my mic. Because typically if I don't like stuff, typically when I buy stuff, I've like read a lot about it, so I know if I'm gonna like it. I recommend Eden Zero 2. It's a shonen created by the guy that made Fairy Tail. Oh, I know all about Eden Zero. I fucking hate Fairy Tail. But I mean, I'm sure it's good. My problem with Hiro Mashima, aside from the fact that I don't think he's a good writer, is that he just makes the same 2 characters, and that's his entire existence. But the setting for Fairy Tail was cool. I feel like I'm allowed to hate Fairy Tail as much as I do because I read almost every chapter of it. Because that was my thing that I liked in high school. Like I love Naruto and I love Dragon Ball Z and everything, but the one thing that I liked that nobody else I knew liked was Fairy Tail. And it's the saddest arc of my life, but I read I read a lot of it. And I remember I got to the huge plot twist in Fairy Tail that I won't say. There's probably multiple ones, to be honest, with the way Mashima writes. But the big one that I'm sure most people that have read Fairy Tail, if anyone here has read Fairy Tail, knows what I'm talking about. And it was the moment where I was like, everyone's right. It is as bad as they say. I was like, I've tried to defend it. I've tried, and that was the moment. I still kept reading it after that because I used to have a real problem where I would hate read things. So like Bleach was a good example of this. I kept reading Bleach even though I really hated it after a while because I had committed so much time to it that I felt like I was like wasting it if I didn't finish it. And then
classic sunk cost fallacy.
And then I gave up on. I did give up on Bleach. Well, Bleach is what really killed that sunk cost fallacy mentality for me because I just hit a point where I just could not do it. I was like, I just can't keep watching Ichigo just come back and be everything in the world and do everything and blah, blah, blah. Man, Bleach was such a heartbreaker. Yeah, that's why I stuck with it because I loved Bleach so much early on. I mean, I love Bleach in the parts that even most people hate. I mean, I dug it all the way up until basically like even by the end. I think the Ulquiorra fight is really when I finally jumped off the shit. Scott can remember me having basically a mental breakdown dealing with the Ulquiorra fight. But yeah, I don't know. Kubo just he's just a strange case. He doesn't draw background, which is really funny when you know that, like when you actually like your brain finally realizes it and like you actually look at how much effort he puts into not drawing backgrounds. He's cracked at drawing fights and like character designs and stuff. His artwork's really, really good if you just don't ever look for a background.
You know, as a fellow comic artist, I respect it. I wish I could get away with it.
Bleach was the one where I remember I liked it at first and predicted everything before I was born. Final art mixed bag of highs and lows. And yeah, I read it for all those reasons. Yeah, Bleach, like, I don't know. It's weird. Bleach is also weird because even the good parts of it, if you think about it even a little bit, it really starts to fall apart.
Remember how there were poor people in heaven?
Yeah, they go to heaven and like it's just like shitty Earth. Like people are poor, people are still like I don't know. Bleach is a really weird case. But when you only think about like Bankai, it's cool. When you only think about Kenpachi and you know fucking all that shit. Hey guys in chat, congrats on the new book. Thank you very much. All the love we've been getting for it is very cool. What's your Bankai? Being able to walk when I get back to that stage.
Oh, you can't walk right now?
No, I can't.
Bryce, retell the story for everyone who wasn't here.
I fell during rock climbing and it hurt.
Beautiful.
And I have 2 sprained ligaments and 2 fractures in my ankle.
I also learned Bryce apparently doesn't know the difference between a fracture and a break. And
well, yeah,
there is no difference.
I've never done it. I honestly didn't know there was a difference, like dead ass.
There's not.
Yeah, I thought
fracture
like
is just the medical term for a break.
I see.
That way doctors aren't walking around going, shit's broke, dog.
Yeah, I thought like a fracture was I thought it was like sprain, fracture, break.
No.
So I can tell people I have a broken ankle. Ow. Yeah, Bleach is a weird case. I don't know. I still never finished it. It's one of the few series when like I said, I try not to buy stuff unless I really know I'm gonna like it, or unless something really important to me. But like, I kind of just want to buy all the volumes of Bleach because it was so important to me when I was younger. But I just also don't want to like. I don't want people to think I like Bleach.
I think that you do like Bleach.
But I kind of do like Bleach. It's kind of important to me. I don't know. I will say, I did watch the entire anime and then read the entire manga. Not like I got caught up. Like okay, I finished the anime, now I'll start reading the manga. Like I watched the entire anime when I was a teenager and then started from volume 1 of the manga and read everything. I used to have a lot of time on my hands when I was a teenager. I didn't go to school. Buy it, don't let the judges sway you. Well, the real problem with it is buying it is like, it's a lot of volumes. It's like 70, 80 volumes, probably more.
I thought it came back.
I thought the anime, because I don't think they finished the anime. I thought that's what came back, right? Like I don't know. I think the anime got canceled in like the middle of an arc or the end of an arc. I don't remember honestly, and I think the manga did finish. I think Kubo eventually finished the manga, and I think they just recently brought the anime back. But I could be wrong. I'm not in the know with Bleach.
Well, you're the expert.
Bleach was the first anime I ever watched that had a Mexican character in it, so it made me feel sort of seen, I guess. Plus, number 1 is the greatest bop of all time. Number 1 does fucking slap. For the record, let it be known. Is one of the best fucking anime songs. Gonna confess, probably a sin. All it takes to get my weak ass to read a manga is it for have a baddie in it that I'm into and potentially nude scenes. I mean, I guess that's fair. I'll be honest. It's gonna sound weird coming from me. I don't like reading stories that much that like feature like a lot of like lewd stuff. Like not like if you're reading hentai, of course that's what you want. But I mean like if I'm just like, oh, I want to sit down and just read like a manga. Like I don't like if I don't want to read like hentai or something like that. Like typically I don't really want. That's like some of my problem with stuff like really fan servicey stuff. I'm not too big of a fan of like Fairy Tail and stuff like that because I feel like it. And Fairy Tail's not even that bad. But it is pretty fan servicey. Just because I feel like a lot of times it detracts from the actual story. That's a case where it doesn't feel like, okay, I'm gonna make this like artistic thing with sex in it, or I'm gonna make like porn that's really well written. It more feels like I'm horny and I'm also writing a story, so I'm throwing horny into the story. I feel like it detracts from it. But that's just me. It'll never stop me from reading a series. Like I said, like I typically, unless it's like really, really bad. I hate with a passion 7 Deadly Sins. I've only ever seen like the first 3 or 4 episodes of it. I think you and I watched them together.
Yeah, we did.
Forever ago. Didn't Kubo release another series like a while back? Like Burn the Witch or something? Was that like
I think so.
An ongoing thing or just like a few volumes? I don't know. And was it any good? Did anyone read it? It's so bad. Okay. Good. I remember hearing about it. I just don't remember hearing anything about it. It's a Bleach prequel? That's weird. Out of all like the big shonens, and I don't mean big as in like just like the like Naruto, Bleach, or like the big 3, out of just sort of all of them, so including like newer ones, what is like the one that like you just cannot fucking stand? I have a clear answer for me.
My only exposure to this was
I think we're gonna have the same answer.
About 2 episodes or 3 episodes of it.
Black Clover.
Black Clover.
Fucking God, Black Clover is awful.
That was maybe the worst 2 or 3 episodes of anime I've ever seen.
I've actually given it more of a chance. Like I went back. I remember not like then.
You went back?
Not to the anime. I tried reading some of the manga a while after that, and I remember thinking it was still bad. Because I got baited by one of those like, no, you just got to read X amount of chapters and then it gets good. And I was like, okay. And it didn't.
I hate that.
I hate that too. I
hate that because it's never true.
It's never true, and I think it is a flaw even if it is true. You know what I mean? Like, it is definitely still a mark against something. So I don't really like the so many things until it gets good.
Listen, if you guys get Kindred Heavens and you don't like it, don't be like, oh, maybe the second will be better. Like, if you don't like it, you just don't like it, and that's fine. Don't be like, oh man, it gets really good around.
But if you do just want to
3.
give us money and you want to buy like books 2 and 3, I mean, like, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we love money. The IRS loves to take our money, so we want to get as much as possible.
So would you say it would be better to keep the fan service stuff to not too serious scenes, fights, whatever, and also have chapters dedicated to that? I guess that's where it gets personal preference. Like I said, I'm one of the people that I don't like the fan service stuff at all. I would actually say I think the Panty Bear is pretty emblematic of that, as strange as it sounds, because I think for what the Panty Bear is, I don't think there's really much fan service in it at all. As in, like, she fights in a skimpy clothing, but it's never like, oh, look at my boobs. Oh, look at my ass. That's like my problem with a lot of fan service stuff, is it takes me out of the moment. So that's why I said it just comes to personal preference, just like whatever somebody likes. I'm someone that like would try and avoid it as at all costs, because I personally don't like it. Because I think it takes it out of, like, it kind of takes you out of the mood a little bit. For me personally. Fire Force, I couldn't get past episode 3, so much fan service. That's how I felt with Soul Eater. I know they're written by the same guy, that's why I'm saying that. I tried to get into Soul Eater earlier this year, and I couldn't. For one, I didn't like it. But two, I just could not. It was just, there was so much fan service. I just couldn't. I was like, I'm not a horny 15-year-old boy anymore. You can't just keep shoving a witch's boobs in my face and expect me to like a middling plot with one good character. Sorry. Sorry for the Soul Eater fans out there. The fan service in Soul Eater disappears after episode 7. I mean, that might be true. I could not be fucked to watch 7 episodes for it to get good. I think fan service works better as a gag than actual plot. I get, like, that's where it comes to the actual series. My problem with it a lot of times is I feel like a lot of times you'll have things where I feel like fan service doesn't fit and it'll still be shoehorned in, like more serious stuff. I don't know. I don't know. There was a time where I was a fan of it, because I remember Scott and I used to disagree about it a lot because Scott always hated it. But that might have just been me coping for my fairy tale love back in the day.
Ironic.
True. I never said I don't like boobs and stuff like that. I like them in scenarios where you expect them.
I just feel like it usually ends up hurting whatever the character is, and like you know, reduces them to like a gag, unless it's I don't know, like I guess it's ironic because I really like Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill's one of the ones that does it well. But
I think because when Kill la Kill does it, it feels like it's kind of the whole point. It kind of feels like it's poking fun at it. That kind of feels like the whole point of the series is to poke fun at that kind of stuff.
I just don't like reading or watching something and it feels like everything stopped just so you can look at boobs or butt.
But again, like I said, it's definitely all personal preference thing. I know a lot of people that do like it. I'm just one of the people that don't. I feel like for me, it takes me out of the moment a little bit.
He's not saying his opinion's better than yours, but that is what he's saying.
Wait, do you like rom-coms? Not typically, but in manga, I can like them if they're good. But I don't like any like kind of movie rom-coms or anything. I don't know. Like I like stuff. I guess like it's like I have. This is where I get bad with genres because I don't think about genres when I read things. I just pick stuff up. But like I like Komi Can't Communicate. I guess that would be kind of a rom-com. Maybe it is a rom-com. I don't know. But I like stuff like that. Granted, I've not read a ton of it. That was just the first example I could think of off the top of my head. Now, my Amy, fucking loves rom-coms, bro. She that's her lifeblood. Is shoujo manga and slice of life manga and shit like that. Love is War. I've heard Love is War is really good. Yeah, right now I'm reading Vagabond, and I don't know what I'm gonna read afterwards. I just have no idea what I'm gonna read.
Going to read Nausicaa.
I just have no idea what I'm gonna read afterwards.
He got this book.
I got
the manga.
I was gonna buy it before you did, and then you bought it before me. And I think that's why I don't want to read it. I think I'm big pissed. You kind of stole. You kind of stole like, my shit.
He stole my thing of being the guy that reads the manga first.
I'm the guy that I'm the one who reads the manga. I'd recommend Ozanari Dungeon, old one of my favorites, and Dirty Pair, which is an anime, but still they're both retro stuff. I have had a lot of people recommend me Dirty Pair, and I have seen a little bit of Dirty Pair. I am a sucker for, and before I say this, I've not watched a ton. I'm just talking aesthetically. I do really love the aesthetic of like old anime. Slayers is great. I bet Slayers recommended to me a lot. Sorry, this has become the manga stream, Scott.
That's alright. It's better than talking about Nintendo for 2 hours.
To the Mario movie.
No, I can talk about the Mario movie. I watched the Mario movie.
I've also been reading Hitomi-chan is Shy. Is that the one you bought, Scott?
I don't know.
I think that's the one. I think that's the one that you randomly bought the other day.
Are you just playing with a pill bottle?
No, I'm having to rewrap my bandage because it came undone. I'm sorry. Wow. Pick on me because I'm injured.
I'm okay.
You know, this is a big time of year for manga people like me because the Right Stuff birthday sale starts in about 10 days. Anyone that buys a lot of manga knows what I'm talking about. So I'm pretty excited about this. Because I did not buy anything from it last year because I bought too much stuff from it the year before. So,
okay. I believe you.
If anyone doesn't know about the Right Stuff birthday sale, it's starting, I think, the 25th. So... Also, if you want to know where the best place to buy manga from, I would say it's Right Stuff. Packaging's great. Deals are great. They sell everything lower just in general. But their sales are always crazy. I got all 20th Century Boys, you know, that manga nobody's ever heard of. For like, and it's 12 volumes and they're huge. They're like 500 pages. I think they're like $15 to $20 normally. And when I bought them, because I bought them during the birthday sale like 2 years ago, I got all of them for like $100. Like all 12 of them. Normally would have been like $200. So I'll still write stuff out because I want them to stay in business and keep selling me manga for cheap.
Maybe they'll sponsor us.
That'd be pretty tight. You know, Viz is supposedly raising their manga prices It's like the big rumor. I don't know if they've confirmed it. Some people talk like they have confirmed it. Some people say it's just a rumor. But like the standard volume is normally $10. I think the rumor or the thing is that it's gonna go up to 12. I think that's what it is. So that's interesting.
Not 12.
So what I'm saying is the Panty Bear is going up to 12. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, during the birthday sale, a lot of the mangas that are $10, so like any of like the Shonen Jump mangas and Viz Media, like the the normal standard trade mangas, typically go down to $5. So like you're essentially getting a volume for free. That most of the manga on my shelf has come from their birthday. They do a big sale called their birthday sale in July and June, and they do a big sale for Christmas. Might buy the Panty Bear again just to say I have 2 copies. Always appreciate the support. Always appreciate the support. Why do you keep pulling up the cell?
I just can't believe that I drew it, really.
I keep expecting you to like color pick from it or something, but you just keep pulling it up and I keep seeing you do nothing. Like I'm so confused.
I don't know, man. Let me cook.
No, not after you did that. Dang, Scott, you're super fast.
Super fast. I'm hoping to finish this whole drawing on stream, but we're already an hour in, and I'm not begun coloring it yet, so.
Lazy. Wow.
Well, I've been interested to try and get my whole process recorded, like from sketch to line art to color and everything. Because usually on stream I just do colors or line art and colors. So I've been trying, or at least trying to do like some sketching on streams. That way, if anybody wants to know anything about any step of my process, the whole thing for One Piece from start to finish is recorded.
One Piece.
One Piece. I love One Piece.
One day I'm gonna get caught up. It's my goal in life. You know, people have various different goals. Mine is to one day be a One Piece enjoyer.
I want you to know that if you start reading One Piece before you finish Nausicaa, I'm gonna come burn you.
You're gonna come kick me?
No, I'm gonna kick you in the broken ankle.
Wasn't there a fight in One Piece that was 35 episodes long? I have no idea, but that's pretty funny.
That's some Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Kind of crazy that there's only one of the big 3 left. Kind of crazy that one of the big 3 is still going. Actually, that's a better way to phrase it. Last thing before I leave, but lately I've been feeling a lot more confident about everything I do, and both of y'all are among the people I gotta thank for it, so thank you. I'll draw you a Lucia again one of these days. Thank you, Feline. I'm glad to hear
Thanks,
it.
Feline.
Stay on that grind.
Happy for you. We're really
No Wait
just
2,
here for
Dragon Ball
inspiration.
Super is still going. This is the weird thing that gets brought up every time I say big 3, but Dragon Ball is not one of the big 3.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm gonna
It's
clarify
one
this
of
again.
the original.
I was gonna say, because everyone gives me shit when I say this, but the big 3 specifically refers to Bleach, One Piece, and Naruto because they were the big 3 at the time, and there was the term was coined because they were all competing with each other directly. And so Shonen Jump, like they were called the big three of Shonen Jump. So that's what I meant by that. Not saying that Dragon Ball isn't, what's the big three now? I don't know, but the big three when I was growing up specifically referred to those three because they ran at the exact same time. And they were all competing for the number one spot in Shonen Jump in terms of popularity polls. And so one week it'd be Bleach, and one week it would be One Piece, and one week it'd be Naruto, and there was a lot of big. That's why I said it's kind of crazy that that one of the big three is still going on this long later in One Piece. Again, not saying that Dragon Ball isn't, like, obviously Dragon Ball is a seminal and a manga and incredibly important. I'm just saying that the term big three, that's what it means.
It's also not still going in the same way that One Piece is still going.
Yeah.
Because, like, One Piece is still, a manga drawn by the same guy. Not like Toriyama's out there drawing and writing Super. And also Super's bad, so.
Yeah, what they would be now, I have no idea. I don't even know what I feel like only a certain group remembers what the big three is/was. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's just because, like, if you didn't, that term meant a very specific thing for a very certain amount of time. And I feel like when people hear it, they just think you just mean just like big three manga, but because it just meant a very specific thing. And I feel like it's kind of a misleading phrase because when you hear big three, like if you don't know what it means, of course you go like, well, the big three means like the best three right now or the best three. I just remember we brought that up on stream once and people got really mad at us about it, and just said we were wrong, and I had to look it up on stream and be like, no, it's a legitimate term.
I think right now it'd probably be like Jujutsu Kaisen, like My Hero, and something else. I don't know. There might not be a big three right now.
Fuck, if you're saying only in Shonen Jump still, like how it was for that big three, I mean, shit, I have no idea. I don't even think Chainsaw Man's not even actually in Shonen Jump, is it? It's like the online shonen thing. I could be wrong, but I mean that would be the other thing. Because it's just popularity. That's all it is. It was just like mostly popular shonen. I feel like big three now means something else because to everyone it moves too fast to stick. That is true. That is the big thing about it now is with One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto, it was those three. Nothing else edged its way in or fought its way in. Those were the big three. Nowadays, it's people have given 20 different answers to what it could be, I feel like. Which is good. I think it's a good thing. It's good that there's a lot of popular things. I wish I could draw more cute stuff, but I've been drawing monsters and mechanical stuff since I was 4.
Never too late to learn.
There can be cute monsters and mechanical things.
True.
Your recorded lives will be my drawing classes. Thank you, Scoot Sensei and Bryson. You're welcome.
See, this is why I do everything in one stream.
Speaking of which, someone earlier did also say thank you for recording the whole process, Scott. I was trying to find you doing sketches, so it was the same person. So people are happy. Thank you, Wes Crawl.
Yeah, I normally just do ink and color on stream because that's just usually about how much time we have. But I'm trying to go a little bit quicker today so that we can do the whole thing from start to finish. Because I know that that's something that I was really when I was learning. I would always try really, really hard to find the start to finish process of a drawing, and a lot of artists wouldn't share that, and I never really understood why. I still kind of don't, but so I want to make sure that I do that at least every now and then, so everybody can see everything.
We're creators for the people.
We're for you guys. That's why we're here.
I'm glad anime has gotten so big. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. When I think we've talked about this a good few times, but when we were growing up, it was not a cool thing So I'm very glad that people growing up now, it is a cool thing. That they are able to enjoy it and not be like, have to hide it or be made fun of for it. I use pen, pencil, and paper when I draw. I sadly don't have digital stuff yet. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I still write all my stuff on paper, so.
Yeah, I draw traditionally every day still.
It's very freeing.
It's just tools. Your creativity is your creativity, you know?
There's Scott's famous eyes.
They're just so funny.
The best part is when Scott will start like to have like a new eye thing or like a new like thing like the eyes that he does that he draws a lot. Like I'll just write like, so I'll be writing a script, and if I know I'm writing it for him, I'll literally just write like, all right, draw the eyes like you do in Kindred Heavens. And he knows what I mean. I usually use a Google Doc for my writing. When I was first starting out, I used Google Docs as well. I'm talking like 8-9 years ago at this point. But the problem with Google Docs is that, well, the problem 8-9 years ago, maybe they fixed it. It'd be very cool if they did. It does not like long documents. So like if you're trying to write a novel or something it will start to shit itself. After
we
about
run into that a lot. Outlines.
Yeah, after about 100 pages, it will start to fucking just absolutely die. So then I switched to, for anyone that wants another free writing program, I used to use LibreOffice, which I would still very much so recommend LibreOffice. I don't use it anymore. I use Word now. Word is much better, in my opinion. But LibreOffice, it's great for being free. I use that for legitimately like 5 or 6 years. I only switched to Word like 2 or 3 years ago. LibreOffice is a very good free writing program. I used it for a long time. I still typically keep it installed on my computer along with Word. Just, I don't know. Big, just in case. Big recommend. But nowadays I use Word. I write all my comics digitally. Like I write them entirely digitally. In Word. But any prose I write my first drafts longhand. I write them in books. And then I when I do subsequent drafts, I write them digitally. I don't know why. It's probably just some kind of stupid mental thing, but I feel like I write a lot better first drafts when I write in a book. All right, I think I'm gonna work on my own art now. Have an awesome day, and also get better, Bryce. Thank you, Matt. Have a good day. Hope your art goes well.
See you, Matt.
Wes Carl said, that's exactly what I'm doing, looking up the process. Thank you for making it available. Is there any other places with Scott's sketches available, like in Image? On Patreon, for when we upload the lewds. There are, for a lot of them, pencils and inks. Especially a lot of the older ones have those. Also his full PSDs.
Yeah, I was gonna say the PSDs.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, the full PSDs are available for every single lewd we've ever done. That's like 200 of them. That's if you do the $5 tier, you can get all that. So there's
I very much remember when I was learning, trying to look up creators that I liked, their like full process. Like there would be like YouTubers or streamers and such, and it'd be like they don't even have videos that's like full process, start to finish, and then they would cut out like 5 or 10 minutes in the middle, and I would just be like, "Come, I just want to see the whole thing." It drive me nuts. So I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. There's also specifically. I'm trying to remember for the Panny Bear. if you again, this is for the $3 tier on our Patreon. We have behind the scenes for the entirety of the Panty Bear, which includes for every single chapter of the Panty Bear the script, the storyboards. I'm pretty sure the pencils. And then I know we've recently posted an old Patreon, like an old porn comic to the Patreon that we didn't actually draw. But Scott, we wrote the whole script, and Scott did the first 10 pages of it. And I know that has the 10 pages of his pencils, and then the storyboards for those 10 pages as well. That was just posted like a month or two ago. So I hate to say the only place they are is the Patreon, but there's plenty of them on the Patreon. Is your brush available?
Yes, it is the. Or do you mean for sketches or for line art? I will wait for that answer before I respond.
You could just answer both of them.
I could, but
Cringe.
You think I should?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Well, the ink brush is just the default pencil tool in Photoshop, which you can get in other programs just by turning off or on anti-aliasing, whichever one has these crispy pixels. I don't remember if it's on or off, but if you turn those on or off, then it's just the default round brush, but with that stuff on it. My pencil tool is actually Keenan Lafferty's chalk brush, which I think Feline uses as well. I think I turned him onto that one.
And I'm pretty sure you can just get that for free from his Patreon, right? Not like you have to pay for his Patreon.
I think it's on DeviantArt.
Is it? Because I remember I even have that in my Photoshop. I don't
yeah,
know.
It's free.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just have to go. So just look it up. Also, the reason that you'd use the line art brush, I always like to say this, is so you can paint bucket in, right? Because if you have the other, like the not anti-sale, whatever the fuck it's on, you can't just.
Makes it really easy to color in stuff like this.
Whereas if you had the other one, it would, like, the edges would be all fucked up.
Yep, that is exactly right. Like if I just used, actually I can show you. If I have a hard round brush and I like draw a circle and I try and paint bucket it in, it's not perfect pixels, so there's this stuff. And there's ways you can work around that. I just find this to be the quickest.
Draw the line art on that one 3 more times, and then it will have complete Ed and Eddie energy. I like the energy. Feline said, I use CSP now, so I don't use it anymore, though I'd love to. You know what I just learned? I'm still subscribed to Photoshop. I got charged $10 today, and realized that I never unsubbed.
Feline, I thought you could take Photoshop brushes and put them into CSP. You just couldn't do it the other way around. I could be wrong. As we all know, I'm not a CSP
You're
user.
not a CSPer. Heartbomb said, yes, you can. Thank you. Yeah, because I kept Photoshop for the longest time for flats, but then you've just never had me flat anything since Faye forever ago.
Well, keep it just in case, I guess.
I keep waiting for the day where you're like, Bryce, I need you to flat comics for me again. CSP versus Photoshop? Well, I'll make the whole argument for you. Scott is the only artist in this space that uses Photoshop, and everyone else uses CSP. Take with that what you will. I'm not saying whether one is better than the other. I'm just saying what the people have said.
And clearly, I'm the GOAT, so CSP all the way.
Every face you're drawing is getting more unhinged. You're like, as it goes on, you're getting deeper and deeper into whatever madness you're going through.
I told you I was feeling adventurous today.
Oh, Feline said, yeah, he did, but Keenan's chalk brush didn't behave the same way last time he used it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's fair. They have different brush engines, so.
We talking brush engines?
We talking brush engines?
Bro, we brushing engines?
Nothing is more nerdy than an artist talking about brush engines.
That's when you know you're a true artist. Also, you got tips for hair, Scott, for both drawing that simplified hair you do that I love so much and designing hairstyles for characters.
I think that one of my weaknesses really is hair. Like, it's one of the things that I still have to really focus. Like, if I'm trying to draw detailed hair, or like do really cool hair, I have to really like think about it. I have to look up a lot of reference. And I just gotta, I gotta try a lot harder. Like, a lot of stuff for me at this point is pretty much just like, I got my system down pat, like for bodies, poses, stuff like that. I pretty much know exactly how I'm gonna do it. Hair is one of the ones that I still have to really think about. So I don't have like a great tip other than like look at reference, and not just reference of real hair. Like, do that, yes, but also reference of like how artists you like, simplify it. For designing hair, I would say once you really understand your style, you start to sort of pick apart different ways you can incorporate it. And the really important thing with a hairstyle when you're designing it, especially for like a stylized like anime type style, is silhouette. Like, if I were to draw this, right, everybody knows who that is just based off the silhouette. This is one line. And I think you should try and do the same thing with your hair, where you try and do like, Lucy has all these spikes. Like her basic hairstyle, like, has this. It has. Let me get a different brush. It has like this front piece, like her bangs, which is always about this shape. It usually has, like 99% of the time, has these ear piece thingies. I don't know what you would call them. And then the back is what changes. Like, her default hairstyle is more like, it's tied back, and then there's some fluff at the bottom, and then there's like a ponytail, and then there's spikes. And the spikes are just there for silhouette, is what I was talking about. Like, you want to be able to see those two big spikes. But for her, like I said, I can just change the back to be pretty much anything I want. And it still sort of looks like her hair because I keep these front pieces. So like I could have her, I could do something really wild, like have her like Afro Lucia. I've done that before. But yeah, so I would say silhouette's a big thing to focus on, and just in general, shapes, and try and keep some consistency in your shapes for more stylized stuff. Now, for more realistic hairstyles, I would say look at real life for those. Try and, like, if I'm working on a story, like, Kindred Heavens is set in like the 1920s, so I spent a lot of time looking at hairstyles in the 1920s, and then seeing that a lot of them were really complicated and had a lot of braids and stuff. So then I went to hairstyles in like the 1940s and 50s. I cheated a little bit, but
that's okay, because it's not really set in the 1920s.
It's just implied.
Yeah, it's just like that's like the loose history. It's not like a
Now,
historical.
when the World War was a major plot point,
that
in
is
one of the
true.
drafts.
That is true. And
it was a little more explicit.
In the first draft of some behind the scenes knowledge, in the first draft of the book, World War One, the fallout of it was a big plot point. But not even close to anymore.
No, we got rid of that.
Most of the
point.
characters that were even involved in that part aren't even characters anymore. They got cut.
We decided that we wanted the book to be good and not 10,000 pages long.
We didn't want that scene where it's just like people being depressed and talking about how depressing fighting in a war is. We realized that's
now they're
not
depressed
the
about something else.
Yeah. No, it's a happy-go-lucky, fun book. Until you get to book 2. Out of all the books, Scott, out of all 4 books, which book are you most excited for people to read? All of them. There we go. I answered it for you.
All right, good deal.
I will say, when we were pitching it around, the first pitch that we did for it, because we actually did 2 pitches, because our first pitch, we sent our agent, and she was like, "You can do better," basically. Basically, we're like, okay. But the first pitch was actually had pages from, I think, book 3, right? And then we redid and we did pages from the very beginning of the book 1.
Well, at the time it was just like book 2, because it was originally 2 books. Actually, originally
it was one book. Yeah, originally it was 1 book.
And then it was 2 books, and now it's 4 books.
Yeah, 4 books is the best place for it, though. We made the right call. I'll say it now. We're geniuses. But yeah, because 2 books would have been too long. How many pages are in book 1? 104.
104.
Each book will be around that, probably.
Yeah, some of them might be a little longer, some of them might be a little shorter, but
they should all be around 100 pages. That's our goal. Because we a big part of the reason for splitting it into 4 books was wanting to be, if we had just done it as 1 book, it would have been, for one, pretty long for 1 book. For like a self-published book, it would have been like 300 something pages. But we didn't want to just be like in the dark, just like drawing this book to ourselves for like 4 straight years, and just like be like, oh, people, we promise we have a book coming. We wanted to be able to put things out consistently and give stuff to people consistently. So each book's 100 pages. Hopefully that means we can get it out at a relatively decent pace. And if we don't, then we're bad at our jobs. What can I say? The story from your books reminds me of Bakuman. By the way, I recommend Bakuman as a good manga. It's not actually, I do think when we were pitching it around, that was one of the comparisons we used, was Bakuman for publishers. Am I crazy? I know Haiku was one of them.
Yeah.
But I think one of the ones I pitched, I think we ended up not actually using it, but I think one of the ones I pitched was Bakuman. Bakuman's very good. I have the entire manga on the shelf behind me. I always say it's one of the mangas that made me want to be a writer.
I was reading it, and I got to the hospital scene, and whatever version I was reading had like a mistranslation in it, and I just stopped reading it. That's all I remember.
I don't even remember what you're talking about, to be honest.
It was like a big central plot point, and it was mistranslated. So I was just like, "Fuck it," and I stopped reading.
Well, I remember you started to dislike it around the gag manga section, a little bit. Well, Kindred Heavens won't have any mistranslations in it.
That's true. Maybe typos.
I don't think so. I think we got them.
We've had a lot of proofreads of this book, so, but there's always at least one.
It's the old what did Neil Gaiman say? The first thing that happens when you get your new freshly published book is you open it and find a typo. So.
There have been many attempts to proofread this book.
We're also pretty good at proofreading.
Yeah, well, I'll brag about it, but
I mean, I was an editor for a while.
And you know, then we
can't wield a longsword.
Can't wield the longsword. There'll probably be one typo somewhere.
Probably, and it'll probably be something important.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
Felix will probably be like, "I've been racing for 1,200 years," and people will think it's like some weird supernatural thing.
We got one comment on Tim's Instagram that was like, because he like had posted the description, and it's like 1920s, like she's not allowed to race and whatnot. And we got this one comment that was like, she's not allowed to race, why? And somebody responded, probably because it's the 1920s and she's a woman. And then like 3 people were like, I'm not gonna buy this because it's political. And
what?
Tim had to be like, it's not. That's not what the book's about.
Oh shit! I never even thought people might think that. No, it's because she has a mean dad. In case anybody is curious, her dad's a meanie, and he doesn't want her racing because of things that he has been through. That's the connection. The time period is just because we wanted it like the Wright brothers planes. Also, Scott and I are really obsessed with that time period.
It's a pretty cool time period.
Yeah, we tend to like that like 1920s, 30s, 40s aesthetic. So, for anyone that thinks it's political, or if you see anybody saying that, just say her dad's a meanie. That is the one thing that sucks about like the people not being able to actually read the full Kickstarter page yet, because the full Kickstarter page actually like explains the plot.
But soon.
That is true. Are you guys ever going to revisit the Panty Bear? Maybe one day. Probably not, but maybe one day. We've always said it just depends on if we have a good idea for a sequel.
Yeah, if we ever release Panty Bear 2, it would just be because we had like a really awesome idea that we really believed in. And we don't have one right now, so we just don't have any interest in it.
Yeah, right now I can safely say it probably isn't happening, at least anytime soon, because we have so many other ideas that we're working on and things we're doing. And so many stories backlog. Because basically the way we work is that like Scott and I have like our next good few stories like backlog. Like we know what we're writing next and stuff like that. We just have to write the stuff. Like we know what we're writing after Kindred Heavens 2. So just depends on whenever we get we run out of that kind of stuff. Is it possible to have the physical volume of your book shipped outside the US? Yes, for the Panty Bear, it is available on Amazon to people in Canada, Australia, Japan, Germany, and the UK. I think for Kindred Heavens, it will be the exact same countries. I think. But I could be wrong. But I think it'll be those exact same countries: Canada, Japan, Australia, Germany, and the UK.
That sounds right, but I don't know off the top for sure.
Also, one thing that I don't think we've mentioned about Kindred Heavens that we should mention, it'll be sold like after the Kickstarter as well.
Yes.
It will be available. Obviously, it helps us a lot if you buy it during the Kickstarter, like if you have the opportunity to, but if you don't, it's not like a limited time thing. My country is not included, sad, sorry. That's the problem with international shipping, is so many countries have so many different like laws and rules, and even shipping the Pandy Bear to Germany was the fucking nightmare. And so that's why, that's the main reason it's only those select countries. When does the Kickstarter begin for Kindred Heavens? It begins next Wednesday.
1 week.
Yep. June 21st. And here is the pre-launch page. So you can be notified the minute we go live. It's pretty cool.
Pretty poggy woggy.
I will say for the people that in the South American countries, again, sorry. But you can during the Kickstarter buy a digital version of the book for $5. So
yeah, I mean, if it were up to us, we'd ship everywhere. It's just not like some regulations and some other issues for certain countries just make it not feasible to do. Like we would love to ship everywhere. It's not realistic for a small, operation.
Yeah, no, that's the real problem. That's part of the reason for people that will remember with the Pandy Bear, we launched the American store pretty early. Before we launched the international store, because we spent a long time. We wanted to just ship like worldwide, but we learned a lot about how not easy that is. And so the countries we narrowed it down to were just the only ones that we could, with relative ease, ship to and guarantee books could get to people and stuff like that. So hopefully one day, we can do more.
What we're saying is, don't blame us, blame your governments.
Especially fucking Germany, dude. Jesus Christ. Germany was a whole nightmare to get set up. We had to tell them how much trash we're sending to Germany. We had to pay for a certain amount of recyclable garbage that we're allowed to send to Germany. This is like shit like that just makes it annoying.
Did you ever get labels, by the way?
Did I ever get labels?
You told me to remind you to get labels like forever ago.
We're good on labels, so I guess not. I guess I don't need them. We have plenty. Okay. Maybe I said that vastly overestimating how quickly we would go through these labels. Because we still got plenty of them left.
You just sent me a message saying like, "Hey, remind me to order labels."
In that moment, I was cringe.
So here's your reminder, I guess.
How long does it take for you guys to write and draw a 100-page graphic novel? Well, writing is a bit hard to answer because if you mean like the whole process of plotting and everything, it can take a fair bit. But for writing, I mean, I'm writing Kindred Heavens Book 2, which I kind of already had partially written, so it's not a fully great answer, and I'll probably have it done in like 2 weeks. But actually, there is a good example. We did write a book a while back that took us 1 week. That was 100 pages, but that's not to write it. It's not the norm.
Well, it actually and to get a finished script that was usable,
it was about 2 weeks.
A little bit long, yeah.
I write about 3. I can write on an average day like 4,000 words, 5,000 words. So a script, like let's say a 100-page book, you're talking like 25,000 to 35,000 words. So a first draft of that could take me like 2 weeks, and then second draft of that 2 weeks. I don't know. It's very fluid. It just all depends on how well stuff goes. But that is about the average amount I write. So,
Bryce, how long did it take to write Kindred Heavens?
Well, to write the first book of Kindred Heavens. No, it's right. When Kindred Heavens was one book. Actually, no, this is actually a really good example. When Kindred Heavens was one book, it took us from the time we started what would be the final outline, like when because we talked along about how it took us a long time to write this book. What that really means is it took us about a year of trying to sort of figure out what we wanted for the book. By the time we were like, okay, this is the direction we want to go, and we started working on our final outline, and we were like, this is what we want. When we did that, which was in January of 2022, it took me about a month to get a finished script of, at the time, what was the whole book, and at the time, what was about 300 pages. It took me about a month to do that. Now, that would nowhere end up being near the final script because I had to do about 700 rounds of revision between our agent looking at it and various different people looking at it and stuff like that. And then obviously we split it into 4 books, which has led to a ton. That's why I'm like having to write book 2, because we have book 2, but when it was part of a full book, so now I'm writing it as its own book. So yeah, it took me about a month to write that when it was 300 pages to get like a finished pass at it. But again, that's very misleading because of the amount of revisions that things typically take and when people look at different things. To draw, it took you about, I don't know, Scott, you can answer that better than I can.
I don't know, it felt like 10 years.
I think you started drawing it in like September of last year.
Yeah, and I finished probably in like March or April of this year.
So like 6 months, 7 months.
Yeah, but that's also with like essentially what amounts to working a full-time job, because I was posting on like Lucia on Twitter and Patreon and all that stuff. So if I weren't doing all the Twitter and Patreon and all the other stuff going on, would have been faster, maybe like 3 or 4 months. That's in color. If it's in black and white, it's about half the time.
Fly subbed. Thank you for the sub. He said, Bryce, if you need a spare ankle, hit me up. I have some. Thank you, Fly. I might just do that. I do miss being able to
live close to one.
That is true. I didn't realize till after I moved just how close Fly and I actually did live to each other for a while, without even knowing it.
And never met up. Can you believe that?
Never met up. Maybe when I go back. Dealing with publishers makes things... I just hit my fucking foot on the fucking wall. Dealing with publishers makes things slow down a lot, I guess. Yeah, it does. I'm okay. Yeah, dealing with publishers can make things go pretty slow. One might say that it's been... One might say that we've had a book that we've had out to publishers for about 2 years now. One day we'll finally get that sorted out. But yeah, we've had one book that is still being sent around to publishers that we've been script fully finished for years at this point. So you all will see that book eventually. But who knows when. But yeah, it makes things take longer, but it's part of it. It's just part of it, yeah. The more frustrating part isn't it taking longer. The more frustrating part is not being able to do anything while you're waiting. That's like, because while you're waiting, you can't draw the book because like, an editor is going to get it, and then they're going to have edits for you, and then publishers are going to want, when you're in talks with publishers, they can go like, oh, we want you to split the book up into 2 books. We want you to do this. We want the book in color. We want this. We want that. So there's all kinds of things that like you can't just start drawing the book. So that's a big part of the reason that we self-published Kindred Heavens and stuff like that, is because like we just didn't want to go. We've gone through that process with a few books, and it takes away a lot of time you could be putting things out there into the world. Do you guys think AI art is already becoming an issue to the point where artists can compete with AI generators? I was convinced that the future is worrisome, but I think the present is fine. And then Kaiser Crimson said AI can't create anything or clever to capitalize on trends wordplay, so I think we're fine. I think we've talked about AI art a lot, but I think our general consensus is just that it can be helpful, it can be scary, but all we can do is just work.
Yeah, it'll change the game for sure. But we've honestly talked about it so much that
that's the only reason. That's our general
maybe
consensus.
Next stream, it's kind of late in the stream. Maybe next stream we'll do our whole thing again. But
how do you guys find an agent and editor? Did you guys just pitch to a bunch of studios? We found our agent through a mutual friend of ours. So that's yeah, we just got kind of lucky, to be honest. Yeah.
Just do that?
Yeah, just do that. I honestly don't know fully what the process for getting an agent for comics is like. Because like I said, we actually the book that's not like that's been sort of in the wings for years. We were our friend Shadia recommended us to an agent because she is the one who will be drawing that book. So where did the crab guy come from? Like the idea for him?
One day I was really stressed
One day
I was really stressed about like I had a lot of commissions and stuff that I had to do, and I really didn't want to do them. And this has been a long time ago. And I was just like, man, I don't want to draw work right now. I just want to draw something fun, but I don't even know like what that would be. And Echo is just like, well, if you draw Echo Saber, everybody knows Echo Saber. Is like if you draw something I think I was just like, hey, I want to draw like a crab. I don't know, because they're like funky little guys. And I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. And I was like, man, I just want to do that. And he was like, well, if you draw your crab, why is it doing that? What the fuck? Strange. He was like, if you draw your crab, I'll draw I think it was like Gengar eating or washing dishes or something, just something with the Gengar. And I was like, okay, and I drew it, and it was fun, and I just had like a goofy little sketch of a crab with a knife, and I ended up drawing it or posting it, and people thought it was funny, and so I did another drawing where Lucia was with the crab, and I was gonna have Lucia eventually kill and eat the crab, but then people like really liked him, so I didn't do that. I thought they might be upset.
Your career might have ended right there if you'd done that.
I thought it would have been a funny little goof 'em up, but then I was worried about the reaction.
You guys are gonna
I like him.
You guys are gonna team up with Shadia? That's great. Yeah, Shadia is a good friend of ours. She's been on stream a bunch in the past. Yeah, we've been friends with Shadia for a long time. She has helped us a lot in our careers.
Super cool person.
Yeah, she is very, very nice. She has kind of been like, especially through a lot back when we were first meeting her and stuff, been very much like a mentor figure to us at times. But yeah, no, when hopefully we get to do that book sooner rather than later. I'm almost certain it'll actually get done. I just don't know when.
Shadia the goat. Gotta have her on stream again.
Yeah, we should have her on stream again. She was my mentor at SCAD, and I've seen her in here, but I didn't know you guys are going to work together. That's super cool. Yeah.
Oh, really? Nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we have a script that she is absolutely perfect for, but like we said, it's just waiting on the right chance for it. But yeah, when we get to do that, that'll be super fun. You know, we're always out here making moves.
Yep, she's very, very cool. Clap, amazing work. First stream, looks adorable. Stare. Thank you.
Nice.
So what Lucia is this, Scott? Like, I get the general theme, but what's the name for this Lucia? What's your abbreviation for this one gonna be?
When I first started, it was just gonna be like bikini, but then it sort of became about weed at some point.
I was gonna say, because there's a lot of like kind of random themes.
So I don't know. I don't really know what this one is. I told you before we got on stream, I was feeling a little unhinged today.
It's kind of like halfway to a hippie Lucia, but like not like full way. Hipsia. Do MK Ultra, Lucia.
Yeah. Speaking of MK Ultra.
We'd like to announce our next book.
Now that's a fun book.
That is true. I hope we get to actually do that book at some day.
We will eventually. We started working on a book, without going into too much detail about it. We started working on a book that was so... It was like the weirdest thing that we had.
It was the most unhinged we have ever been.
And it got to like, we had worked on it for like a month, and then at some point we were like, all right, we're satisfied for now. Like this is, we hadn't got to script or anything, but we were like, all right, I don't know if we can take this anymore. We'll come back to this someday.
We had like a really rough stretch of work, and we were like, this is, we've talked about it before. There was one brief period of Scott and I's career where we were really off sync for whatever reason, and like we just couldn't, like, writing wasn't go, like we both were in very different directions with every story. And I remember this was one of those times where we were like, it was right before we like had that realization, like actually then like had to talk about it. And so we were like, let's just write this book. And we just like, it just ended up being just the most unhinged, fucking off the wall. It was gory. It was violent. It was like really sexual. It was weird. It was really fucking strange. And yeah, then we were just like, okay, we're good. And we walked away from it. But we both really love it. I just don't know when we'll do it. I think it'd be really funny to do like this book, like Kindred Heavens, and do like what we want the next book to be, and the book after that, and do like those three, and then just like drop this out of nowhere, because it would be so off-brand with everything else we do. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Make the background for this just tie-dye. Make it a lava lamp. Can you do lava lamp, Lucia?
Why didn't this do what I wanted it to do?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not the artist.
Okay. No. I got it. We're good.
I'm not the Photoshop.
I got it. We're good.
Stop.
What a funny little drawing.
Can't wait to see the loot for this one. Lucia just blowing a giant joint.
And I don't know why. I don't know what this expression.
I was gonna ask about it.
This is pretty good.
I keep thinking of like the what's the Eminem song with the girl eats the whole bag of mushrooms. That's what it keeps making me think of. I don't know why.
That's pretty funny.
I don't know how you do that, but needs enormous bags. Yeah, give her like huge bags under the eyes. Awesome work as always, Scott. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is still less unhinged than what you told me you were gonna do before stream. I'm glad you went down this route.
I think that would have been good content.
No.
I think we would have gotten banned in China, but
yeah. Yeah, we would have. You remember that episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy where like they're on the beach and like Ed lays on the rock and just like gets like melted and like sunburnt? Draw that, Lucia. Can you draw an Ed, Edd n Eddy, Lucia? Where it's like one is her eating the bed.
Sure.
One is her. Not like right now. Like one day. One day, just like, just fuck around. Draw Ed, Edd n Eddy, Lucia. Draw Canker Sister, Lucia.
I kind of want to change. I kind of want to change the color of the outfit
To make it more like stonerish.
Yeah, just to make it different in general, but I don't know how to do that.
Well, step one is being a good artist. I'm sorry.
Easily here on stream. So wait a minute. Hold on. What do hippies wear?
Tie-dye. That's like the generic answer.
Hold on, how do I fucking make tie-dye?
You remember that one, like the snazzy top drawing that you did forever ago? That's kind of the closest thing you've done to tie-dye.
Actually, wait, hold on.
They don't wear clothes, duh. Oh yeah, that's fair. You did tie-dye there. And everyone's favorite drawing.
Yeah, yes, no one was mad about this.
For the reference, I would like to say this because I saw people, the smoking the Korok was my idea. So if anyone was upset about the smoking the Korok, which some people were, that was my idea. I'll take the blame for that. I thought it was funny. Is that the only reason people were mad? Well, some people just didn't like the idea of fun.
Some people thought that I was taking their beloved character and just ruining her.
By making her a stoner.
By making her a stoner, and they didn't like it. So, you know, I made the Zelda fans mad.
I thought it was funny, and I'm about the biggest Zelda fan you know.
I also thought it was funny, so I didn't have any regrets.
Don't people draw her nude all the time too? That is actually kind of a good point. People would get really upset and be like, well, it doesn't make sense for her character. But then like they're fine with somebody drawing her getting railed. I thought that was really weird. I've never understood that side of like you see it a lot on Twitter, people that like they're really obsessed with people staying like in canon. Not that it's like bad. For me, I don't know. Funny's funny. I think the tie-dye is a very right direction to go. Over the black. Why is the one Lucia just red? Oh, okay.
It'll get fixed. But this tie-dye looks so shitty. I gotta find a better way to do it.
I mean, I assumed you were just doing a quick mock-up real quick.
Yeah, I am.
You could like leave the shirt black and just have like the front of it be like have like part of it be tied, like instead of having the whole thing be tie-dyed if you didn't want that. Sorry about your ankle, guy. That's okay. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna find a way to make this tie-dye work.
What we learned here, everybody, is you didn't see Scott's whole process because you're seeing... Actually, no, you know what? You did see Scott's whole process because you're seeing the part that often happens where he realizes that he doesn't like his drawing.
Yes, and I have...
So either he will fix this or you will never see this drawing again. And then it'll get uploaded randomly.
Hold on, I got one more thing I can try while we're here on stream.
Did the doctor say how long it'll take to heal? No, they just told me it'll take a while and I can't put any pressure on it and that I'll probably need physical therapy. But they didn't give me an exact date because she said it just kind of just depends on how it heals. But I have 2 sprains and 2 fractures.
How do I find royalty-free images?
Love your streams. Wish my English was better and could join the conversation more often. Hey, it doesn't matter. We appreciate anybody and everybody. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, man.
And your English is perfectly fine. That's one of the things I feel like a lot of people that are really worried about their English speak or they type really, really strong English. I knew this part of the process through my own drawings. I didn't know Scott also goes through it. I think everyone goes through it. Wow, you didn't pay for your WinRAR license? Wow, you know, WinRAR is not free. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, just leave the drawing like this. Make it all just line art. And just, yeah, just...
Hold on. Let me cook.
My English is 80% Google Translate, 20% Faith. It's been fine. It's been fine. I like this, Lucia.
Hold on. Let me cook. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
The tie-dye hair is kind of funky. Now this is peak laziness.
Shh. It's legit.
It's really funny seeing the bottom of the bikini that you did in comparison to the tie-dye up top.
Let me cook.
Holy shit! It really makes yours look shitty.
Hold on. Wait.
So what we're learning here, children, is that cheating is an important...
I don't know if this is royalty free or not. I gotta have to look into it.
Well, if it's not, you'll find a royalty-free one, I'm sure. It's not cheating, it's working smarter. Fair.
Yeah, see, this is better. This is better, I think. Right? Than black?
It's definitely better than black.
Definitely better than that.
Well, that was just tie-dye you whipped up on the spot. I'm sure if you actually put your all into it, you could do tie-dye just fine.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay,
You need to
what time
cook.
is it? I do need to cook. Yeah, okay, I can do this pretty quickly. I'll finish this up.
Lucia hair dye while high. Oh, did Lucia dye her hair while high? I don't know why my brain. You were just doing all kinds of crazy shit with this Lucy over here, and it's really fucking my brain up.
Trust. I don't know how to do what I need to do right now. I'm struggling right now.
This is the part where we're here until 5 o'clock.
No, I'll
At this point, you have to finish it on stream, or I'm gonna be upset. Are you gonna do her shoes too?
No.
Wow.
Although that's not a terrible idea.
Wow, what a fucking loser.
But I've already. Oh, this isn't what I
What
wanted
the
at all.
fuck are you doing?
Oh, this isn't what I wanted at
Why do
all.
you keep doing it like it's what you wanted?
Oh no! Oh no!
Do you still like drawing when Scott is drawing?
Okay, wait. I got it.
I just feel like it's kind of cheating if you're not drawing the tie-dye yourself.
I feel like you can shut the fuck up.
I feel like you can make the joint tie-dye. Are you gonna make her little straps on her hands and legs tie-dye?
No.
Are you gonna make her eyeballs tie-dye?
I'm gonna kick you in the
What about her
foot.
what about her teardrops? Bro, tie-dyed teardrops would be a cool name for a band.
Okay, now I just have to figure out what the color was that I wanted to use for this. Okay, hold on. Wait. Let me cook. Okay. Yeah.
I still don't know why she's crying in that one. She's like crying and smiling. It's really weird.
For some reason, my brain thought that it was a funny.
Well, it works because she's like high, so it's kind of like, I don't know. It kind of hits.
Okay. There we go. I gotta turn this background off because it doesn't work anymore with the colors. I'll have to change that too. Okay.
Will you make the smoke tie-dye?
No. It's Celine Dion.
Make the cell tie-dye?
Okay. Hold on.
Will you make the crab tie-dye?
Dude, I'm gonna fuck you up.
We have fun.
Okay, now, here we go. Wait, shit, I gotta grab the. Oh man.
Aw, shucks.
Ah, shit.
Delivery update. Your Amazon package is running late. My boot's not gonna get here today. Oh no.
Is this where what I need it to be? What's happening?
I don't know. Scout's gonna make your other ankle broke. Scout, can we tie dye my ankle?
Okay. Okay, now we do this little number. We go like this. And then no, the tie-dye shoes looks kind of cool.
I just feel like it'd be kind of weird not to go all the way with the tie-dye. Then make her skin tie-dye.
Oh no, it looks so tight. Oh. I hate drawing. Okay.
You gotta do something weird with the one where she's actually like high as fuck, right? The one with her eyes. Like, you have to make her hair tie-dyed or something. I'm just petitioning for something weird somewhere.
You're just petitioning for me to have to do more shit.
Well, listen, you're the one that wanted to go through and tie-dye everything. I'm just saying, if you're gonna tie-dye stuff.
Now I gotta go through and change the shoes on this one because they're not tie-dyed.
It's only one more. You act like it's an eon of work.
I know, but it's past my bedtime.
My job is so hard. Now, you know, if the tie-dye doesn't perfectly match up on both pairs of shoes, people will be upset.
You know, I know where you live.
People will recognize you as the fake artist that you are. What about her fingernails? Are you going to tie-dye her fingernails?
I'm gonna beat you up. I'm actually gonna beat you up.
Tie-dye braces. Have you ever drawn Lucia with braces?
No.
What do you have against people who have braces?
I'm afraid of braces.
Yeah? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I never had them, and I don't know. I don't want to touch that one.
I also never had braces, for the record.
Yeah, but you looked like somebody that would have
What
braces,
the fuck does that mean? What? My
yeah,
Amy had braces.
I just don't.
Wow.
I just don't want to.
I think that's offensive. In the lewd, can you tie-dye your nipples?
Oh, right.
We have fun. Look, see how easy that was? And you're... Oh, never mind. I thought you were done. I like her aggressively hitting that joint. Like, I don't know. I like the sheer aggression in that expression.
Well, she's like coughing.
I know. I also like how when you don't have the head there, it looks like she is like a fucking like a genie creature.
Okay.
Idea for Stone or Lucy, you should make her skin sunburnt. Yeah, Scott. Okay, so now go through and make all of her skin sunburnt. And then tie-dye.
Everyone stop.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Yes.
It's kind of funny.
Come on. You're telling me it's not cool. I think that makes the drawing legitimately better. Dude, you fucking doubted me.
Okay, I'll admit that's kind of tight. That's kind of funny.
You know, all of my annoyingness was worth it now. You didn't do little, Lou.
Well, it's fine.
What? Wow. Settling for anything less than perfect. What a fucking loser. Just make her whole body tie-dye.
All right. Now
Draw Snoop Dogg in the background.
I'm almost finished. I can almost go home. I wanted to go swim.
The same, but I'm not allowed anymore. That's really the worst thing. By the time this is good, fucking swimming season will be almost over.
Technically, not right now, obviously, but you should be able to. It would probably be good for you to swim.
Yeah, that's what my mom said. But once it starts to heal up a bit.
Yeah, like once you actually start getting to where you can do a little bit with it, like not even before you can like walk fully on it.
Yeah, because then I can move it underwater in a less stressful way and get it like moving again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that. And then some little kid dives into my leg and re-breaks it.
I hit it with the ball again.
Actually, what would probably happen is I'd probably jump for the ball and like hit that little ledge and re-break my leg. Don't even act like that's not a joke. That legitimately probably would happen.
Bitch, you thirsty? Go grab a Sprite.
Well, I'm glad that I was able to make such deep contributions to this stream. I expect credit when this goes live.
I'll credit you for this.
Please, God, no.
Selena Dion.
You start every stream like draw like female everything.
Female toaster.
Misu said, "How long until more rock climbing?" Long.
I just know you're gonna be such a little baby when we finally go back rock climbing. You're gonna like when it's time to get off the wall, you're gonna like climb all the way down, real ginger.
Okay, actually though, for the record, I've never been the one to do that. You have been. I've actually been. I typically kind of dangerously jump off the wall when I'm done. No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna back bump off everything now.
I mean, honestly, probably better for you.
So you'll just catch me, like, I'll just be at the top and I'll just... You know what the worst part is, Scott? I had conquered that white one. I'd gotten up there with one hand and I only needed to get up there with two hands. I was so close. That was all I needed to do. And then I'd be good. And by the time I go back, that's 110% not going to be there.
Yeah.
So any ones we've not conquered.
All right. We're rating.
Okay.
Somebody. Thanks for coming, everybody. Had a good time.
Thank you, everybody.
And this channel has a follower or subscriber only chat. That's fine. Give them a follow and then talk to them or something. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.